Good morning, good afternoon, or good whatever, wherever you are. Um, I was just about to get my workout on for this Saturday morning, last day of 2016, and I wanted to reveal something in the moment because I've had um, a small breakdown, but nothing tragic. But it was because of something that happened last night with somebody very important to me. Some of you who know me know I have a younger brother. He's all I got. He's 4 years and 1 day younger than me. And he is about as big as I was when I first started my journey. And for the couple years that I'm sorry, that I've been on my journey, he's watched me. And so many people have come to me and asked me if I was going to help him. And you don't know how hard it's been to have taken care of my own health and have to sit back and just watch my brother suffer. Because I know the pain he's been through, and some of it I don't because we're different, and he's got some different ailments, but very similar. And he approached me last night. He came over for my son's birthday party. And we had a long discussion about health because he's been watching me. Trust me, he's been watching me because I'm his big brother, and there's dynamics about that too we won't get into right now. But he asked me to do a couple things because he's done something. For those of you who do know my brother, his name is Brian, and I'm going to share a picture that he asked me to share with you guys, actually several pictures of him in his current state. He's 42 years old, and he's probably about 360 something pounds. And he had just flown out to see my mother, and I know she'll be watching this. And Mom, I'm going to reveal it because, you know, but the plane ride was a struggle for him because being a big man, we have things we have to deal with. And I've never forgotten that the average person, even just overweight person, has no idea. And he explained to me as he sat on the plane, sitting cramped in a little seat next to a guy, and he felt so horrible that his body was encroaching on the guy next to him in his space. The guy didn't say anything to him. I'm really sorry. It's just hard because I can relate to this. And he told me he was sweating, and he felt like that he smelled. And on one hand, he tells me he doesn't give a shit, but I could see the pain in his eyes because I felt that. So he asked me to take some pictures. Actually, we had my wife take some pictures of us side by side. And you got to understand something here that I've not talked about with you guys in my journey. After I lost 200 pounds, I was very excited. In fact, I was very naive about what it all meant. Because, initially when I started, I shouldn't say I didn't care. I didn't know that it would have such an impact on people. In fact, initially, the only first person I thought about was Brian. because I wanted to help him. And I remember talking to my mother, and I wanted to save his life. You know, he and I were together when our dad died in 2010. I'll never forget that day. He'll never forget that day, and it affected us differently. For those of you who've read my story, you know that my father died of lung and colon cancer, and he did not take care of himself. Some of you probably know some of the story, that Brian and I were both in the room with my dad's best friend, Dave, the moment Dad died. And we experienced it a little differently. Brian and Dave were holding my dad's hand. And I was off to the side watching the scene. And we knew that he was dying at that, like literally at that moment, because the nurse told us. And as we watched Dad struggle, as Brian held onto my dad's hand as he passed, and his eyes were bulging out, I swear to God, I saw regret in Dad's eyes. And for me, it was my changing point in my life where, I mean, there were a lot of things, but that was one of the biggest impacts on me when I told my mother that I need to do something to change my life now or I'm going to die too. Sometimes I wanted to die because I hated myself so much. And caused Brian to really close down and just be quiet. And a lot of you guys that know Brian's not big on social media. He doesn't even really have a presence out there. He keeps away. He's kind of wary of stuff. But he asked me to do something last night, and he gave me permission to share this story with you guys because he, I think, wants to do something about himself, and he also wants to help others because Brian sees the bigger picture after watching me the past couple years, and he wants to go on his own journey, similar, learning from the things I did, but on his own way, which is exactly what he should do. In many ways, like he said to me last night, he goes, you know, it's curious to me, why is it that we're both essentially, we're the same family, same mother and father, same life experiences, right up to the moment Dad died, and how it affected me differently than him, and why he struggles with his weight still, and why he sees me having so much success in my life transformation. And that's the key thing that we want to tap into as we talked last night to try to teach others. He actually came to me and he said, you know, because he's been watching me now since, because he was kind of skeptical at first. He's like, dude, why are you trying to tell everybody? Are you looking for notoriety? And I said, honestly, I hated attention and I hated people looking at me, especially since I was big. But I also found it very invigorating when people were excited about what I'm doing and motivated, and it made me feel good, and it made me stay in my commitment with my health. It's not why I do it, but it's a nice fringe benefit that I can share this gift with people and show that there's some hope in life, that not even just lose 200 pounds like I did, and I'm not going to say that's easy, but do other things in life. And that's exactly what my brother was talking to me about last night, was that he's like, man, you know, people need to understand this stuff because we're real life. Some of you guys out there know me personally. You know me, and there's a lot of you guys that are just finding out about me. But I'm just a regular guy. You know, there's nothing magical about what I did. I just woke up, well, many times, but one day, and I just decided that everything else that I've been doing all these years wasn't working. And, you know, and I realized that this was bigger than just losing fat and my health. It was really about taking my life back. And it's still been a journey because I'll be honest with you, I still hate my body. And you guys see me, and you probably, some of you who are big, like my brother, and I revealed this to him. Here he is standing there like 300 and who knows how much, almost 360 something pounds. And I'm telling him I hate my body. And I was ashamed because I looked at him and I'm like, well, shit, at least I'm not as big as he is anymore. And that's exactly what, he was kind of saying. But I'm learning to love myself. And that's, I think, what he wants too, is that, I said, Brian, one thing I've discovered in my journey is it's no longer about the scale. It's no longer about the weight. It's about the health that I got back in my life back. You guys know that I hike all the time, and I love it. I truly do love it. And I love taking care of my body and taking care of my health. And I'm working on some other areas. It's always a journey. It's an experience. So Brian came to me and he had me take several pictures. Well, my wife takes several pictures of us side by side. I'm going to reveal them in a little while. Maybe not early. I might do one this morning. We'll see. I got to see what kind of time I have. But we're going to start, and I'm hoping I can get him to commit to this too, because Brian is actually an excellent writer, to start sharing our feelings about some of the things he's going to go through. This is going to be a little different than me because most of you guys didn't see me until after my transformation, and that's because I personally didn't even care about sharing at the time. I just wanted to get out of it. I didn't even know it was going to turn into this. My brother, on the other hand, is still down there, and he wants to go through his own journey, but he wants to kind of show people what it's like. Now, my brother has two distinct disadvantages right now. One of them is his back is in bad shape and his knees are in bad shape. But as I told him last night, this is not. It's not just about exercise. I said, we got to talk. It's really 80% diet, and that he needs to learn how to eat better. That's the one thing I can tell you guys that I've learned through this whole journey. Especially for me. It may not be true for all of you guys, but my body. I can speak for me, and I'm probably speaking for my brother, that I can't out-exercise eating poorly. And I tried, guys. I'll be honest with you. A lot of these fitness professionals out there that I'm kind of looking at and comparing myself to as I'm trying to get established out here myself is that, they show you the pretty side of things. And I'm going to tell you, I'm glad I took care of my health. I'm really happy that I did. I don't have to deal with what my brother just dealt with over this past week on the airplane, feeling the humiliation of being a very big man in an airplane seat. One of the things we talked about is that perception that it's his fucking fault that I'm sorry, it's his fault that he's that way. And that's a perception. And I'll be honest with you, it's easy to feel that way when you look at a person that's big like that. A lot of you guys are probably just struggling with 10 or 20 pounds or something, and but when you're dealing with somebody who's a couple 100 pounds overweight, sometimes it's easy to lose that compassion. Or maybe somebody that's like that. But I'm betting the majority of you guys don't even know what it's like to go into a restaurant and have to ask for a chair because you don't fit in the booth. Well, I was that guy, and some of you guys knew me. That was kind of the motivation for me because I didn't want to live that life anymore. And I think my brother, at 42 years old, soon to be 43, he's starting to see the light. And he's got some other challenges. I won't get into all of it yet. I want him to speak for himself. But he did ask me to do this. He did ask me to share with you guys and to share the pictures because I think one of the things we talked about, and I told him in my 7 keys, I probably have others, but my 7 keys to my success was the fact that I shared later. That I told people this is what I'm going to do. And I told them, I said, when you're ready, that's what you need to tell people. This is what I'm going to do. That helps. This is what I'm going to do. And this is not just weight loss or whatever. If you've got a goal in your life, it's a good idea to reveal to people around you for support and for accountability to say, this is what I'm going to do. Okay? Well, guys, this is what I'm going to do. Okay? Do the best I can to support my brother. We got our own dynamics. I love him. He loves me. We are very different. I'm going to tell you some stories about things that have happened between me and him in the journey, because he has not been hidden in my background. For those of you who've wondered what's been going on with Brian, he's been around. We've had a couple outs during my weight loss journey. We'll talk about that stuff, what happened, why. It might be easy to just look at it as pure jealousy or me harping on him. It's a little more complex than that, and it was really never. But anyway, this is big, and I'm really hoping it is something that's gonna be real, because I think it's gonna be something that people have never seen before. This is we were talking about that. He came up. This was my brother's idea, to have two brothers, one who's fit like me, and one who's still fat. I'm using that word. It's a dirty word for people, but it's not. And why? Why is he still there? Why am I here? What keeps us? And what ultimately got me to do what I did? And what's going to get him? And he wants to articulate that. Brian is extremely good with words, even better than me. And he wants to articulate what's bringing him to the next level. And I told him, I said last night, because he said to me, because he was over 400 something pounds at one point, and he said, well, he's lost some weight. And I said, that's good. And he goes, yeah, but I screwed up in this and that. And I said, okay, well, here's hey, Roger, here's one thing that was key to my success. Okay, it wasn't lack of failure. You guys hear all this crap all the time. You know this stuff. It was the fact that I just got up every time. And when I fell down, I got up again. Sometimes literally off the ground when I slipped on the ice and snow and on my walking. And when I fell up, I got up again and again. And I'm still doing it. I'm here. Okay? And the struggle didn't end when I lost all the weight. In fact, who am I here? The struggle continued, because, at one point I thought I beat, this demon, my struggle, and it didn't go away. So what I had to learn is techniques to manage it. And that's some of the stuff I want to teach. It's not about, I'll tell you guys exercises I do. Some of it will interest you. Some of it won't. Okay. I'll tell you guys the stuff I eat. Some of you, right now I'm on a vegan kick. I'm not going to say I am vegan, because, I'm kind of loose about it. But that's kind of the thing I'm into right now, because, it's a journey. I'm trying to figure things out myself. Because honestly, you guys know that the fitness and health industry is fracked. It's just, you got people telling you to do, I don't know, what's the latest one now? Keto and all these other things. And nobody knows what to do and what to eat anymore. Well, I'm going to tell you, it's confusing. So anyway, I'm going to wrap this up, because I want to get working out. I really thank you guys for tuning in. And for those of you who tune into this later, thank you. I think this is going to be something that's exciting. I'm really hoping that my brother can commit for himself, so that he can take care of his health, because you guys have no idea how much it's bothered me that I was able to take care of mine, and then to still watch my brother suffer with things like he told me last night, on the airplane, and feeling like, well, I got the key. But what we're getting at is what is it? What's the trigger? What's the thing that he needs, the breaking point, to get to where he starts, putting him first? Because that's a big piece of it. It's psychological. He doesn't know how to put himself first, and he's starting to see that it's taking its toll on him. So anyway, I love you guys. I think it's awesome that you find what I talk about interesting, and I think you're going to see some really cool things pretty soon here. Like I promised, I will get that picture of me and him side by side, so you can see that. For those of you guys who don't know him, his name is Brian. He's an awesome guy. He's my little brother, and he said last night, he goes, your little big brother. Whatever, if he wants to do that, he'll have to get past some of the labels with it. But I think it was very brave of him, especially somebody who's afraid of social media as he is, to come forward and try to change his life. So I can't wait for him to start revealing some of this stuff. So before I go, let me just tell you what some of the ideas he has. So one of the ideas, besides us writing together, is we want to do videos and show you him and I kind of interviewing each other to talk about some of the things. And he likes the fact that I'm his brother, and he knows that I'm not going to hold back with questions, although I am careful because some of it's been touchy over the years. But I'm gonna, you're gonna do some of that, and I want you guys to hold us accountable. Ask us questions. You can get to him through me right now until I can convince him to try to get a public profile out there that we can share, and then you guys can see and learn from both of us on what it is that's helping get us to a point where we change our lives. Okay, guys, I hope you're having an awesome day on this New Year's Day. I may show up again later today, so I hope wherever you are that you're having a wonderful day so far. And don't forget, as I always tell you, stay awesome.